quick, which is good. We're live on all the major platforms. All the recorders are started. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories are tonight: the White House becomes the internet police. El Gato, yes, that's a company, has the first webcam. The GAO blocks a senator from receiving its governmental Zoom usage approval. And Apple employees are not happy to have to go back to work at the office. So I want to welcome you, episode 1540 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, July 15th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners to the show. Thanks for being here. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. When you're on the website, get subscribed to the show, get subscribed to the newsletter. All that information is directly on the website. We want you to stay connected with the show. It's really, really important to do so, and you can do that via our Discord channel, or you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat. Of course, we're on Slack as well, and you can get connected to that as well. All you got to do is contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com. That's a place where you can send your comments about the show as well. Of course, I'm available on Twitter at Geek News as well. I'm on Facebook as my first and last name. Just search for me. You'll find me. And, of course, all the partner shows are linked to geeknewscentral.com. That includes the new media show, the Gadget Professor, the GNC Week in Review. Of course, this live show. Lots of stuff to check out. Shows to get subscribed to when you're on the website. Make sure you do that. Of course, this show is sponsored by the longest-running continuous sponsor of a podcast, and that's our good friends at GoDaddy. And I want to take just a second today. I posted about this on my Facebook page. In 2005, the show got the call. June of 2005, the show got the call from Chris Redlinger at GoDaddy asking me if she or if I wanted to be sponsored by GoDaddy. And, of course, many of you know the story, and I jumped on the bandwagon and said, absolutely, yes, I want to do a sponsorship with you. And that was June of 2005. And in July of 2005, after 1 month, they wanted to renew. And we renegotiated the deal because of the way the podcast had done at the previous episode. And really, off to the races. It was an incredible, and still is to this day, an incredible relationship. Chris has moved throughout the company and done a variety of different things. But she sent me an email today saying this was her last day. She's retiring from GoDaddy and going to enjoy retirement. There's a few things in life that are monumentous to each of us. It's usually kids being born, a marriage. There's just a whole litany of things. And there's always times when you're going to go right, when you're going to go left, and you make the right decision or you make the wrong decision. In this instance, when Chris asked me on the telephone, do I know of other podcasters that would be interested in advertising from GoDaddy, it spawned an idea in my head, which is today, Raw Voice and Blueberry Podcasting, my podcasting company. It really did spawn this thought process of there is a business model here today. And my business, which is involved around podcast hosting, statistics, this is what resulted 16 years later. And few people are able to witness what a single moment in time, how it changes the path of everything. And it really was, didn't know it then, had no idea from hanging that phone up to thinking about there's a business here and making the call on this very show in those very early days to say, hey, I have a business idea. I'm looking for a biz dev. I'm looking for a programmer, looking for a graphics artist, and I'm looking for a lawyer. We're going to have a phone call. And from that phone call was born Raw Voice, all from the time when Chris had said, do you know other podcasters would like to advertise for GoDaddy? Because then it becomes just more than me. It becomes a bigger thing. So it's quite amazing that all these years later, and Chris has only been with the company 1 year longer than this show has been in existence. So that tells me she was very early on. I didn't realize that until today, that she was really early in her career at GoDaddy and had made a decision that podcasting was a space that was worth investing in and worth advertising in, and which tens of thousands of you that listen to this show over the past 16 years have signed up for GoDaddy services. I can't even, and not only for the ability to do this and keep the lights on and pay the insurance bill, pay the power bill, and hopefully have a little bit left over at the end of the year to have a little something. It's been really, really an incredible ride. So, Chris, I made it. I don't know if you'll hear this at some point. We're going to have you, get you on, and we'll do an interview, and we'll talk about this past and the significance of it. But GoDaddy is a sponsorship here today that has essentially lasted through several supervisors. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, coordinators, team members at GoDaddy. Chris has moved on and done many other things. She was doing the international marketing and stuff for a while, but she reached out and she did. I wasn't the only show, but I was one of the first shows that advertised with GoDaddy, and I'm sure I'm the only one that's still here from that original deal. So again, I just wanted to mention it tonight on the show. It's kind of one of those passing things that really is I wish her the best of luck. Have fun with the grandchildren. Do your thing. Enjoy retirement. And when we cross paths, dinner's on me, and we will buy a bottle of champagne. And again, dinner and champagne are on me because really, you didn't know it at the time. I think you've come to realize it over all these years, but this was very monumentous, if that's the word, in my life and in my employees' life and tens of thousands of podcasters' ability to use our services and everything that we've developed over the years. So oftentimes when I tell you, please support the sponsor here at GoDaddy, you're not only supporting the sponsor for this show, but you're supporting a vision of what really started so many years ago and what they have done and what they have fed from their ability to pay for that sponsorship and allow me to introduce their products and services to you on each and every show is the ability to really make a difference for independent content creators. And I'm truly an independent content creator. I have help with Kirk now and everything he does. Thank goodness I have writers as well that write for the blog. All of that would not be possible. All of that would not be possible had not GoDaddy stepped up. Yeah, there's been other sponsors. They've come and went, but they've been here for the long haul. And with that said, you can save money. You can save 30% off new product purchases at GoDaddy. You can get a $4.99.com for new or transferred customers. You can get $1 a month economy hosting for the first year. Again, with the free, these two deals, there's nothing like this. You can get $1 a month managed WordPress hosting site for the first year with a free domain. $12. $12. You're going to spend more than that on lunch tomorrow. All right, you go out and have 2 beers. You're going to spend more than that. You could get 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. You're going to spend more than $12. You can start a business. You can start an online empire. You can start a e-commerce site. You can start a blog. You can start a podcast. Really, $12. $12 and a microphone, and you're up and running. So $1 a month economy hosting for the first year of the free domain, and $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year of the free domain. Go get them. Go get them. GeekNewsCentral.com/GoDaddy. And of course, the free trial of GoDaddy website builder is available as well. Your choice of personal business or business plus plans 1 month. Why is this deal so good? Why have we had this same deal for months? I'm going to tell you, it's a good deal. It's the best codes you can find. It's the best deal on hosting in the universe. So go over and get it done. And when you buy that, think about Chris. We should have a promo code just with Chris's name on it. But again, all these are available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Again, thank you, Chris. Thank you, GoDaddy, for being a longtime supporter of this show. Thank you for having the vision to say, we want more podcasters to promote GoDaddy. And those of you that have been here from the beginning, you've been with them for this ride. There's a number of you. Yes, there's some that have been here since the early days. But most of you know how important this is. And again, you guys save huge money, up to 94% off. All right, so get her done. All right, go over there to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And Chris, again, congratulations. Thank you for your just the simple thought of reaching out to this geek blogger, podcaster, to see if this thing would work. And work it has. And I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity to represent the GoDaddy product line and be a partner and to call you a friend. It's really, really, it's tremendous. And so again, have fun in retirement. Have a Sermosa every morning. Just do it up, okay? And do me a favor. So for the first 7 days of your retirement, which you see, it's a little too late because you're retiring today. It's a little too late. What you need to do is go on Amazon, order yourself the 7 cheapest alarm clocks you can. And then when you get those, every day, you set the time, you set the alarm as you would normally get up for GoDaddy. Maybe set it for 5 minutes later. And when that alarm clock rings, you get out of bed calmly. You grab that alarm clock while it's ringing. You go to the closest door and you smash the shit out of that thing on the concrete. And do that for 7 days. And I will tell you, it will be so good for your psyche. It's so setting free. So 7 days in a row, I'll buy the alarm clocks for you. Matter of fact, get your address. Consider it done. So enjoy retirement, and again, thank you for the opportunity, and continue to look forward to work with the GoDaddy team. Hopefully, as long as you guys don't have me. All right, so what's going on here? Well, it's rained all week. Been weird weather. The weed shop's ready to go. They haven't put their sign on the door yet, but they're done constructing. They're done banging the doors. The security camera wiring is hanging out of the building. I saw one of the owners in there today doing kind of the look around. I think they're ready. Now, when they're going to open, nobody knows. But I actually, in anticipation of it, I put a reserved parking sign out in front of my parking stall today, because I know when they open, the parking lot's going to be full, and hopefully I won't have to have the threaten to tow sign be put there as well. But anyway, so we'll see what happens here over the next couple of weeks. I do have to mention yesterday, had an explosive new media show, 2 hours. The fireworks really kind of started about the 30 minutes into the program. It's a 2-hour listen. If you want to understand the dynamics of the podcasting space right now, and what's going on in the mindset of some new podcasters, and you want to hear about me being on a soapbox for 90 minutes, you need to listen to the new media show from yesterday that I put out. But I am ready for the weekend, ready for, well, I think we're going to have nice weather. We'll see. Keep our fingers crossed. And oh, by the way, my company made the switch today. I am now officially on T-Mobile for my iPhone. I will find out how it does when I get back to the compound, back to the loft tonight to see how the signal is there. So no more Verizon for me. Verizon is out of my life for now. We saved for corporate wise, we've saved a huge, huge amount of money. And I got 5G, had pretty good speeds on it here at the office, which is good. So the true test, and I know T-Mobile works at the house. Just see how many bars there are and what kind of speed I get there. Okay, so that's what's going on, and I hope you're doing well. I will give you a little bit of an update on my itching thing. It is a little, I'll say a little better. Not a lot, a little. So I don't know if I'm coming out of this thing or what. I have no idea. Haven't changed nothing at all. So one thing I did find was scalding hot showers followed by a cool down seems to really be a thing. But cold shower without the hot shower doesn't work. And I have got a full glass of iced tea. This is like glass number 4. For some reason, I did not sleep well last night, so I'm dragging. Okay. Did you guys like the last show rant? Did you guys like my little tirade last episode? Well, if you thought that was bad, holy smokes. The Surgeon General and the president's press agent, press person, today have called on tech platforms, media outlets to take greater steps to combat COVID-19 misinformation. They are specifically going on Facebook looking for posts that they feel are passing out bad information on vaccines, and they're asking Facebook to censor that information. Ladies and gentlemen, this is wrong. We already got enough problems with Facebook, right? Doing their own thing. But when the U.S. government tells a media group that they should censor information that's being put out by people that have free speech, there is something very, very, very wrong. This is an absolute overreach of U.S. governmental power. They say, today we live in a world where misinformation poses an imminent and insidious threat to our nation's health. This is from the Surgeon General. As he blamed falsehoods as one of the reasons the pace of vaccination was slowing. Data shows that 99% of new hospitalizations and deaths are among the unvaccinated. They chose not to be vaccinated. They chose not to be vaccinated on a drug that did not have FDA approval, but was on an emergency, this allowance they've been allowed to work under. So why they included recommendations for tech platforms to include redesigning algorithms to avoid amplifying misinformation and take quicker action against super spreaders and repeat offenders. For the news media called on media organizations, I'm sure they will comply. They called on media organizations to train journalists and editors in a way to avoid amplifying misinformation, to proactively address the public's questions, as well as to reconsider headlines that shock and provoke. Wow! Where have they? This is wow. They're giving advice on how to censor you and I. They actually said in a White House briefing, we have a list. We have a list of people on Facebook that are responsible for misinformation. We're sending this list over to Facebook. Are they the Gestapo now? White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki and said that senior staff members of the COVID-19 response team have been in touch with executives at the platforms that are flagging problematic posts. What is wrong with this? What is wrong with this? I'm going to tell you what's wrong with this. They need to stay out of the press and trying to influence the press more. Well, they just own the press. They're a bunch of lackeys. They don't ask hard questions. They don't question when the president stumbles through words and can hardly get anything out. The misinformation about the vaccines is extended to White House efforts to promote them. Last week, the president announced a plan to reach people door to door at their homes to give them information of the vaccines. This is crazy. This is crazy. For them, they're actually asking, you watch. I bet you Facebook, Twitter, Google will all acquiesce and say, yes, boss. Let's go. We'll do what you say. You're the boss. I'm sure. This is insane. News organizations, social media sites should tell the federal government to pack sand, get out of our business. We will figure out who we're going to censor. Right? You don't tell us who to censor. We will figure out who to censor. This is crazy. This is crazy. There's obviously political polarization. This is crazy. Train journalists. They want the media organizations to train their journalists. And they're going to provide them information so that they have the correct information, so that they're not putting out misinformation. Wow. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they should do this? Do you think they should go and tell Facebook to censor more? Provide a list of people they feel are providing misinformation? You want to cause people to go crazy more than they're already crazy? You want to divide the country further? Go ahead. Go ahead, Facebook. Comply with what you're being told by the White House. When did we become, used to be the press had a backbone and would question stuff, right? They'd ask hard questions, no matter who was in office. Those days are gone because news is now entertainment. So Facebook will Zuckerberg's going to start answering to the president now. It's very scary. Very scary times. Am I wrong? This is they're just pissed. They're pissed because people have decided, no, I'm not taking the vaccine. But the last time I checked, no one can tell you what to do in this country. It's your choice. It's your body. If you don't take the vaccine and you catch COVID and you die, that's your fault. Everyone's supposed to be protected or is vaccinated, right? It's going to be no worry about those of us that are vaccinated, right? We're all good. Lockdowns are coming. I bet you. I bet you. I bet you. And guess what they're going to say? It's because of people that didn't take vaccine. They're going to be ostracized. Because this is why we're going into lockdown again, because people didn't get their vaccine. Mark my words. That'll be the narrative in the fall. You know, the rest of the country, rest of the world is still pretty much locked down. I was on a conference call with some people from Canada today. They're sick of it. They're utterly feel defeated and beat down. That's just a little bit north of here. Actually, north and east of here. Not to speak of the rest of Asia. Thailand, Vietnam, all locked down. Philippines, locked down. Locked down, just like they were back in March. These poor people. And they are poor. Dirt, poverty, poor. Locked down, unable to make an income, starving and dying by the thousands. Crazy. Censorship. I really don't like censorship. Oh, man. People need to stand up. And we all can bash on Facebook for their policies on their own, right? We all can say what we want to say about Facebook and Twitter and everyone else and their policies. And we've criticized that here on this show and what they've done as a company. But then when the government gets involved and tells Facebook, you're not being tough enough, you need to go after more, you need to censor these people, that's a whole different ballgame. It's almost like we switch teams and become Facebook's defense. No, you can't tell us what to do. Don't you mind your own business? Go back to doing the government's work. Don't come over here and tell me how to run my private enterprise. It's kind of like switching teams, right? I'm not a big Michigan fan. I'm a Michigan State fan. But probably the only time I root for Michigan is when they're playing Ohio State, right? It's kind of that thing. All right, we'll move on. Didn't know we were going to get into censorship tonight, did we? Misinformation. Elgato's first webcam gets a lot of things right. And one of my team members ordered one of these. And Elgato has been around for a while. I love this company. Streamers are using their gear a lot. They're known for their capture cards and the Stream Deck line of products and services. Gamers, Twitchers, they all know Elgato. If you're streaming as a gamer, you're probably using Elgato devices. Well, they've come out with a webcam. Doesn't focus. It's fixed focal length. It's $200. You can save the settings to the camera. It's got all kinds of cool features. So I'm waiting for Mike to get his and get the rundown on it. But if you're looking for a good, and it doesn't have a microphone, for anyone that's doing any type of professional audio and professional video, you don't use your camera's webcam microphone. Sorry. You get a Rodecaster or something like that and wired it up. That's what you do there. But anyway, very, very cool. We'll go see how this turns out. This is another disturbing one. Now, when I was in the Navy, if a senator made an inquiry about an individual, something going on, you basically stopped everything and you responded to that senator's inquiry. And you better be thorough, accurate. Well, GSA, which is not elected officials, these are people that work, they're lifetime federal employees. They work at the General Service Administration. They have blocked Senator Wyden from reviewing documents used to approve Zoom for government use. Now, this to me is mind-boggling. And let me read to you what they said. This is the second request. So, the denial was in response to a letter sent by Democratic Senator Ron Wyden to the GSA in May, expressing concern that the agency cleared Zoom for use by federal agencies just weeks before a major security vulnerability was discovered in the app. Wyden said discovery of the bug raises serious questions about the quality of the FedRAMP audit. And these are the people that audit software for the U.S. government and approve it. Now, let me tell you a little something about software development. Now, if you're a software developer at the U.S. government, I'm going to really apologize. Here, I'm going to tell you why. The federal government has a GS scale. GS1 through 13, I think it goes as high as 15. And then above that it's 4 executive levels. And really the money that a programmer can make working for the government is nowhere near what they can make in the private sector. So typically, and I'm going to piss some people off here, typically the government doesn't get the best programmers. This is true because they can't pay them enough. So let that sink in just a little bit. Google, Facebook, Apple, all these companies, they're high-tech companies. I pay my programmers, some of my programmers, more than what some government employees are able to make from being in service for 20 years in the federal government service. And those programmers have been with me a much shorter time. They make more than they ever will after 20 years worth of work. So you have federal employees who were working at FedRAMP, auditing code being written mostly by top-tier developers. Do you think they're going to miss anything? Do you wonder how stuff has gotten hacked that the federal government has had? Makes you think for a second, right? Okay, so they said no. Now, the GSA declined Wyden's first request in July of 2020 on the grounds that he was not a committee chair. In the new Biden administration, Wyden was named chair of the Senate Finance Committee and requested Zoom's security package again. But in a new letter sent to Wyden's office last month, GSA declined the request for the second time, citing security concerns. All right, you have a senator who more than likely has a security clearance, and they say GSA's refusal to share a Zoom audit with Congress calls into question the security. Senator Wyden says GSA's refusal to share the Zoom audit with Congress calls into question the security of the other software products that GSA has approved for federal use. GSA had replied, the security package you requested contains highly sensitive, proprietary, and other confidential information relating to the security associated with Zoom for government products. Safeguarding this information is critical to maintaining the integrity of the offering and any government data it hosts, said the GSA letter. Based on our review, GSA believes that the disclosure of Zoom security package would create significant security risk. Wow. Wow. Imagine me being in the Navy, getting a letter from a senator in my chain of command requesting information on one of my people, and I tell the senator that he doesn't have the need to know. He doesn't have the right to know. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. This is wrong. This is wrong. These people have some cojones. This is crazy. Of the people we spoke with who have firsthand knowledge of FedRAMP process, either as a government employee or as a company going through the certification, FedRAMP was described as a comprehensive but no means an exhaustive list of checks that companies have met in order to meet the security requirements of the federal government. I know all about this. This is crazy. This is still wrong. He should not. GSA puts strict controls on who can access a FedRAMP security package. You need a federal government or military email address, which the senator office has. But the reason for GSA denying Wyden's request still isn't clear, and reached a GSA spokesman would not explain how a member of Congress would obtain a company's FedRAMP security package. GSA values its relationship with Congress and will continue to work with Senator Wyden and our committees of jurisdiction to provide appropriate information regarding our programs and operations, said GSA spokesperson Christina Wilkes. They are now above oversight. So the GSA, which we pay for, which oversees this program, is now above governmental oversight. That's simply insane. What say you? Are we living in the Twilight Zone? Have they got so power hungry and power? This is my sandbox, Senator. Go bugger off. You can't look at this. Imagine. I can't imagine. I can't imagine not getting a request for information by a senator and being a federal employee and saying no. I just can't. It's bizarre. All right, let's get off the topic of government stupidity. And let's switch to Apple. Apple employees say the company is cracking down on remote work. One employee said in Slack that Apple even denied their ADA work from home accommodation. Apple employee says it's harder than ever to get remote work requests approved after the company rolled out a new hybrid model that required people to return to the office 3 days a week starting in early September. Some employees say they're going to quit if Apple doesn't change its stance. We're going to quit. Really? Really? Oh, okay. While Apple historically discouraged employees working from home, there were one-off exceptions to rules, and some teams were more lenient than others. Now employees say that even those exceptions are being denied. In the company Slack channel, where employees advocate for remote work, roughly 10 people said they're resigning due to the hybrid work policy, or knew others who'd been forced to quit. The Slack channel currently has more than 6,000 members. While Apple's corporate employees certainly have more flexibility than retail staff, some say it's out of step with other big tech companies. Apple is Apple. Apple typically gives employees 30 days to find a new job within the company if their current team denies a medical accommodation, but one worker said in Slack that there weren't any open remote positions. This is in regards to the person with the ADA, Americans with Disability Act accommodation. That's a pretty serious charge, to be honest with you. Some employees say they were told only people with documented medical conditions would be approved for permanent remote work. But the form that Apple employee uses to request such accommodation asked them to release their medical records to the company, which made some people uncomfortable. Well, if you're going to ask for an ADA exception, shouldn't you let Apple verify this? I don't know. I guess I've never been faced with one of these. They're going to talk to lawyers about possible legal action. Okay. You're going to sue your employer? That's smart. Moving on. The U.S. cracks down on Fulfilled by Amazon, citing sale of 400,000 plus hazardous items. Amazon shipped hair dryers with electrocution risk, CO detectors that didn't work, children's sleepwear that was flammable. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, said it sued Amazon to force the recall of dangerous products. While Amazon has halted sales, most of them already, and issued refunds. The CPSC said it isn't satisfied with how Amazon notified customers, and said the industry giant must do more to ensure that the faulty products are destroyed. You know, here's something that's kind of funny. I need a flamethrower. Okay, you're thinking, well, why do you need a flamethrower? I need one of those propane flamethrowers that you use to kill weeds or melt snow or ice. One of those, right? When I was a kid, my dad had one, and it was a monstrosity of a thing, unsafe. You know, luckily one of us never got burned. You had to put a striker in front of it to get it going. I've looked everywhere around the compound, and it's gone. It went in the auction years ago. So I went on Amazon, and I'm looking for a flamethrower, and I think that's actually what I searched for on Amazon. And you know, I looked at some of the products, and I was like, kind of sketchy. I'm looking at, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of sketchy. And I'm like, where's this made? And I do some digging around. Of course, it's made in China. So, I dig around a little more. And finally, I find one that I think, okay, there's you have a grip to be able to, if you let go of the grip, the gas shuts off. It's got an automated striker to start the fire. There's a safety handle to help, stay safe. There's a fire guard so that you're not going to, accidentally, well, you probably burn your foot still, but you know what I mean. It's looks safer than others. So I get to thinking, I wonder, and this, I hadn't even seen this article. I said, I wonder if this stuff has been approved by, AKA Safety Regulatory Commission, whoever that may be. So, so CSPC is going after Amazon on these 400,000 plus hazardous product. This is Ken, this is an SMB7 that I have here. Thanks for asking. So how about you? You received something from Amazon before that was a little sketchy? Let me know. Geeknews@gmail.com is a place to send those types of comments. 7 ways to fix slow Chrome issues. Got a good article from meekyusuf.com. That link will be up in the show notes for you to review. Xiaomi, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Xiaomi, Xiaomi. This is another Chinese name I can't pronounce correctly. But they were number 2 smartphone vendor for the first time in quarter 2, 2021. Samsung was at 19%. Xiaomi was at 17%. Apple was at 14%. Oppo, which is the big brand in Asia, 10%. Vivo, I have no idea where Vivo is sold. But Xiaomi has become the number 2 smartphone vendor for the first time ever. LG's rollable TV costs 50 times as much as a normal LED. Apart from the rolling feature, it's almost identical to an LG CX or C1. Wow. Why didn't you build your own cart if you need to roll your TV around? Oh, it's a rollable. It rolls up. $100,000. That's crazy. Who has Jeff Bezos has $100,000 to pay for a rollable TV. All right, this is the most stupid thing I have seen Microsoft do in years. 20 years. 20 years ago, after being unceremoniously dumped from Microsoft Office, Clippy, did any of you just choke? Clippy is ready to make a triumphant return as part of a broader update to 1800 emoji. The one-time assistant replaced the paperclip emoji, and various Microsoft 365 products include Office, Teams, Windows. This has got to be, you have got to be kidding. Clippy will return as an emoji in some Microsoft apps. Some of you don't even know what this is. Ken, what do you think about the MV7? Good mic. No complaints about the MV7. Oops, what happened? I just did something here. I was scrolling up and scrolled too far. Yeah, it's good, Mike. So yes, Clippy will return as an emoji. And for those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, just go ahead and Google. It's the stupidest thing ever. NASA's 1.1 billion Juno spacecraft captures stunning Starship Captain view images of Jupiter and Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system. The probe was traveling within 645 miles of Ganymede at 41,000 miles per hour, capturing dark and light regions. The animation also shows Jupiter clouds, cyclones, and string of pearls, which are storms at the pole. The images were taken before the Juno's 34th flyby of Juno. Did I say Juno? 34th flyby of June. The next scheduled is July 21st. So they show some pictures. Wow. It is pretty impressive. This is Jupiter. I want to see the moon. Oh, this is the moon. This is Ganymede. It's not as scarred up as our moon is it? Wow. The Juno probe. So anyway, there's an animation for this. I don't have it on the website, so you'll be able to link and find it from the article. So awesome. Lyft shared rides return with COVID measures and advanced booking. You can save money if you don't mind waiting. You can book up to 30 minutes advance, and you can do shared riding, and you will not be delayed in getting to your destination. There will be no weird alternate pickups. So if you want to save some money on your Lyft ride, you can do shared now. So with advanced booking only with restrictions. iPhone 12 line accounted for 63% of U.S. iPhone sales in quarter 3. iPhone 12 mini has a 5% share. That's telling. Not many people are liking the mini. At a 5% share, I think the iPhone mini's days are numbered. My goodness, that's hardly even a dent. Google is rolling out delete last 15 minutes of search history shortcut on iOS, coming to Android later. Google's rolling out delete last 15 minutes of search history shortcut. Okay. Why would they do that? Well, some other things they're doing. Google today's also officially announced the ability to lock the My Activity page behind extra sign-in verification with your credentials so that users of shared devices do not have wide latitude on your personal information. Did anyone say Apple? So this is an interesting development here. It joins the ability to have search history, web and app activity automatically delete every 3, 18, or 36 months with that middle increments the current default for new accounts. Google said this shortcut is available now for iOS. So be on the lookout for it. You can hide your last 15 minutes of searches. It's one of those, hey, honey, what are you doing on your phone? Oh, nothing, baby. Well, let me see your phone. Sure. Oh, okay. $10 million rewards bolster. $10 million rewards bolster Whitehouse anti-ransomware bid. The State Department will offer rewards up to $10 million for information leading to the identification of anyone engaged in foreign state-sanctioned malicious cyber activity, including ransomware attacks against critical U.S. infrastructure. A task force set up by the White House will coordinate efforts to stem the ransomware scourge. The Biden administration is also out with a website called stopransomware.gov that offers the public resources for countering the threat and building more resilience into networks, a senior administration official told reporters. In another move, Thursday, the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network will work with banks, technology companies, and others on better anti-money laundering efforts for cryptocurrency and more rapid tracing of ransomware proceeds, which are paid in virtual currency. Officials are hoping to seize more extortion payments in ransomware cases. The FBI did, recouping $4.4 million paid by Colonial Pipeline in May. So it's part of the Department of Justice, State Department's Rewards for Justice program. So, okay. So link will be up in the show notes. If you have information, you can cash in. A Delta pilot sued the airline for allegedly stealing an app he designed. He's suing for $1 billion. A Delta pilot has sued the airline for $1 billion, accusing him of trade secret theft over communications apps he developed a few years ago. According to Bloomberg, Captain Craig Alexander pitched the Crew Live app, which he reported developed with $100,000 of his own money, to the company as a way for crews to easily communicate in case of disrupted flights. However, Delta turned him down and then launched what he says an identical tool a few years later. Dun, da, 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 after he'd shown it off to all their executives. Sounds like he's got a case here. Bad news for SpaceX. The U.S. warned SpaceX its new Texas launch site tower is not yet approved. If you've been following some of the popular space channels, been talking about this new tower where they're going to catch. Yes, they're going to catch a returning rocket. The FAA has warned Elon Musk that its environmental review, a new tower at its Boca Chica launch site in Texas, is incomplete. The agency could order SpaceX to take it down. Try. An FAA spokesman said on Wednesday the agency's environmental review underway of SpaceX's proposed rocket assembly integration tower is underway, and added that the company is building the tower at its own risk. The FAA is slow. They don't operate at civilian speeds. Based on the environmental review, the FAA could order SpaceX to take down the tower. It is possible that changes would have to be made at the launch site, including to the integration towers, to mitigate significant impacts. Environmental impacts, ladies and gentlemen. We know that Elon Musk has been very critical of how slow the FAA is. And having had to deal or been on the delivery end of some... Okay, let's just put it this way. If you want to fly and transmit an RF energy that is not registered... Let me just tell you something. You better have about a year's worth of time to do the paperwork. It is painful. I can't imagine. You must have 100 people working on just regulatory paperwork for these launches, or maybe 200. It's crazy. Netflix will reportedly offer video games within the next year. Now they're going to go into podcasting too. So podcasts coming to a Netflix channel near you as well. That plywood satellite has been cleared for space launch. Now, he's building a tower on land, and then they're going to authorize the launch of a plywood satellite? Come on. The WISA Woodsat could reduce space debris by using materials that burn as they fall back into the Earth's atmosphere. The WISA Woodsat is being developed by... That's what happens anyway. The metal stuff burns up too. The WISA Woodsat is being developed by Finland's-based Arctic Astronautics Limited, the ESA, and Finland's based Forester UPM maker of WISA plywood. Okay. The world's first wooden satellite is now certified for a rocket ride, and the final pre-launch phase can begin. The satellite is scheduled to launch into space from New Zealand on Rocket Lab's reusable Electron rocket before the end of the year. Yeah, okay. This is just a big publicity stunt. YouTube makes subscriber-only chats and polls available to all streamers. Popular subscribers can also allow viewers to share clips from gaming streams. Okay. So you on watching this on YouTube, I guess we can have chats and polls over there now. Facebook Pay buttons are coming to online stores in August. The payment option will finally be available outside its social network. Almost 2 years down the line, Facebook's taking big step to expand its payment platform. The company has announced plans to break out Facebook Pay from its own ecosystem to facilitate transactions across the web. Starting August, US-based customers will be able to make purchases from Shopify-powered businesses using the payment method. Of course, why? Who owns Shopify? When you visit a supported seller, you'll see a Facebook Pay button allowing you to complete a purchase with your saved card or PayPal details. In that sense, Facebook will be jostling for attention at checkout with rival mobile and digital wallets, including Apple Pay, Google Pay. Of course, each has its built-in audience based on preferred hardware, operating system, or in Facebook case, social network. Please, 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 for the love of God, do not give Facebook another penny by using their pay platform. My goodness. AT&T 5G has reached 250 million covered and expands 5G Plus to more cities and venues. My T-Mobile phone, now my iPhone on T-Mobile, says I got 5G, but I only got 60 megs down. That's not 5G. That's like hyped up LTE. So AT&T now covers more than 250 million people, 6 months ahead of schedule. 5G Plus continues to expand with coverage in parts of more than 40 cities and 40 venues. 5G Plus is also available in 1 airport, with 7 more planned by the end of the year and 25 by the end of 2022. Doesn't say where. It's again cities, stadiums and arenas, airports, entertainment districts. And if you're in Chicago O'Hare, guess what? You're going to get it there. So for those of you that are AT&T users. Okay, this is going to bring me to the end of the program, but I do have, I believe, I had a comment come in. Yes, I got an email from Robert, and he says, Todd, if you haven't already, aloe vera, it cleared up my burnt face after a radiator exploded on me in 3 days. It was like nothing ever happened. Had a bed bug issue, would wake up with bites. It cleared them right up. The gel works great, and a lotion that contains aloe vera is good too. Hope this helps. Aloe vera. Been using aloe vera, Robert, since my mom introduced it to me as a kid, but I haven't been using it this time. So good idea. It is. It's a fantastic, especially if you have an aloe vera plant. You just snap a little bit off, rub it on. That's the best. Pure aloe vera from the plant. My goodness. My goodness. That's the way to go. Absolutely unequivocally. So thanks, Robert, for sending that in. Okay. I think that's it. That's all we are. That's all I am. That's all I have. How'd everybody do? Did I lose anybody? Y'all still here? Are you on social? Are you watching? All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I'll be back here on Monday for another edition of the Geek Central podcast. It's been my pleasure bringing the show. Be safe out there. Take care of one another. All right. Watch out. Watch out for government censorship. It is coming to a venue near you. Be careful what you say on the street. Uncle Sugar's watching.